Hello, my High Priestess Key family over here. I am here to do the fifth and the sixth spiritual astrology with the universal laws that combine with that energy, right, of knowledge for you guys today. As you can see on this channel, that's what I've been putting out first to start out my channel so you understand that I'm doing readings here just based off of universal laws, all right? I won't be using any type of tarot decks. I use my ancestor deck, which is a deck that I created with my ancestors, and through meditation, through numerology, astrology, planetary alignment, and the divination of the cards is how I will be doing readings here. All right. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you for coming in and being here with me, High Priestess Key, 333, and we're ready to go ahead and tap into the universal law. So the fifth one that I wanted to discuss today, family, is the law of inspired actions. All right. So the law of inspired actions, family, is to achieve something. One must take action, right? So knowing this, what does that mean? Well, it means that, there is principles that come behind things that you do want to attract to yourself, because we just talked about the law of attraction, which is that Pisces energy. But with this energy is Taurus energy that is attached to this, which of course we all know about our Tauruses, right? In reference of Taurus being geared towards, the things that they they do hard work towards getting the things that they want, but that's all behind being inspired, right? Inspiration will come when you know who you are, though. So the principle of that is that it's more impactful for you to be inspired to do something in reference of you actually not doing it and thinking that something is going to manifest without taking action. You must put action behind your manifestations. What does that mean? Be intentional. Being mindful. Inspired actions come with that, right? In reference of the energy that I wanted to talk to you guys about with the inspired actions, the law of inspired actions is all about, one thing you have to know about inspired actions, is basically it's all in what you put in it, right? Taking action is actually it is not as easy as it sounds, but the key to being inspired is to have inspiration within self, right? Creating your goals, being mindful, being intentional in reference of what it is that you want to manifest in your life, and that comes from your thoughts, that comes from within, that comes from, illuminating and magnifying the things that you do want to manifest in your life by initiating, right? And these are all action words, right? Things that you have to do to create. All right. So this is the main thing that's attached to the Taurus. Now, Taurus is also the messenger of envy and pride, because when you are inspired or you're inspiring others, or when you're taking action, sometimes that even envy and pride and jealousy does come with that, right? Because others sometimes may not have those characteristics, or they may be still in their negative attributes. So that may come to you in reference of disrespect, or that may come to you in reference of someone being aggressive towards you, right? But you are to speak of that, and you are to, let people know through being inspiring and being inspired to take action on whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life, that this is all doable. There's no need of having jealousy and hate and envy and pride, and what it can get you, right? Also, in your positive attributes, in reference of the Taurus energy that goes along with the law of inspired actions, Tauruses are the house of the ancient ancestors. So it's all about the kings and the queens with the Taurus, and the law of inspired actions, the queens and the kings, even in the tarot and even in the regular playing cards. Those are the main arcanas, right? They are the action suits, right? They do things. They let you know what's going on. So it's the same mentality in reference of the law of action. The kings and the queens is what that would be geared towards. That's a universal law that would be geared towards your Tauruses, right? So those are the kings and the queens. Those are the leaders. Those are the ones that bring people together, you know? And so it is, and it's also connected to Venus energy. Okay, so of course that I think they do say that even in the Western, but it's also that in the spiritual astrology as well. So Venus is all about money as well, but Venus is all about love. So in that inspired actions, you must have love that underlies that as well. So then you won't have the envy, then you won't have the pride issues that may follow up in reference of things that you may be inspired by, but may feel like you can't get it accomplished when you're out of alignment. But when you're in alignment, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Okay. Now the next universal law, because I'm doing two on this one, family, I'm doubling it up. Okay. Um, but the next one I want to talk to you guys about is the law of perpetual energy, which is the sixth universal law that I want to talk to you guys about, right? And when you think of the law of perpetual energy, you think of the law of it comes up as the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. That's the universe keeps changing, and so do you, right? And what does that truly mean? Well, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy is basically it's letting you know that things are constantly moving, constantly changing. And what is that? That is the vibration, and that is the frequency. That is this universe that will constantly keep moving, constantly keep fluctuating. All right. So the energy, it can be created, it can neither be created nor destroyed. It's always a transforming state of the universe. It's always moving, family, right? So that's why people say you got to go with the ebbs and the flow. That's the movement of the universe, and that's the transmutation of energy. It's a constant movement of form, it's a constant changing. The universe constantly changes, and with this energy comes Scorpio, that is attached to the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. And most Scorpios can make, and when you think about transmutation, what do you think about? You think that's making nothing out of something, that's moving one thing to another. That's transmuting energy, is what that is, right? It's Scorpio energy, but attached to Scorpio energy is all about those changes. And we know Scorpios is all about transformation. And that's what the law of perpetual transmutation of change is about. Changing. Okay. I mean, energy is about changing. So, of course, Scorpios go with that. But on the other part of that, don't get too stuck into the changes and the things that are out of alignment with my Scorpios, because then the Scorpios are looked at in reference of the spiritual astrology as the messenger of lies. And why is that? Because the Scorpios in the spiritual astrology, with the ancestors letting us know that the Scorpios have the doctrine, so they know all the secrets, and that's why they're so easily to tap in with the dead, right? With the spiritual world. I mean, with the spiritual realm, with the ether, right? They're more connected there, so they know all the secrets. They know all the history. They know the back end of things. But that's why they're able to change and maneuver things and understand changes as well, but also know that things are being deceptive as well, or when things are being changed to be deceiving. Okay. But they also have all their clairs, right? When they're in alignment. This is my Scorpios. So when you think about that, when you think about the Scorpios and the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, and you think about them having all their clairs, which is all their spiritual abilities with the Scorpios, that makes sense because they're able to change things easily, right? But they're also able to go with the flow with the universe when it's changing as well, even when it is some things that are an illusion, and even when it is some things that may be low vibrational, because that lets you know that with Scorpios, the high vibrational energy and the low vibrational energy, they can balance both. And when they can balance both, they'll be in alignment. But when they can't balance both, they'll be out of alignment. So that's the difference in reference of Scorpios and how they connect to the law of perpetual energy. Scorpios are always going to be attached to that. And Scorpios in the spiritual astrology is connected to Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So if you think very strongly into that, And I didn't get into that with the other signs, but if you think strongly into that, you can see why they would be attached to Chiron, because they're able to go through the highs and the lows. And Chiron is about the wounded healer, but being able to heal that wound, right? So walking through the darkness to the light. In most Scorpios, it is also endings, a lot of endings, a lot of endings, a lot of death around Scorpios that they have to deal with. But those changes bring them to new beginnings, which is moving from the darkness to the light, which is another form of perpetual transmutation of that energy. All right. So hopefully you understand that. I'm going to get more into these signs and these universal laws over on my Patreon, but it won't be here on YouTube. This is as far as I can pretty much go in reference of the signs that are connected to the universal laws, but I have to give you this so you know in reference of when I am doing my readings. Next one will be the universal law of cause and effect, which is pretty much karma, and we'll talk about the law of compensation. We're going to do those in the same as well. But next will be the energy readings for Taurus and for Scorpio. Much love to you. Peace.